Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Under the Olive Tree. If you're a new watcher, welcome. My name's Jem. I am a yarn dyer, knitting designer and owner of undertheolivetreeknits.com, which is a knitting website where you can find lots of lovely hand-dyed yarns, knitting patterns, kits, tutorials, accessories and lots more. So do go and check it out. It's www.undertheolivetreeknits.com. So I'm back today with the results of the snow dyeing that I did last week. If you haven't watched the previous episode, you might want to go back and watch, as we had a little flurry of snow last week, which is quite rare for where we are in the UK. We don't usually tend to get much, but we had about an inch last week and it stuck around for a bit. So I made the most of it and did some snow dyeing. So I dyed 2 skeins of yarn, pop the snow on top, put the dyes, sprinkled the dye colours on top of the snow, and then kind of watched the snow melt and the dyes kind of filtered through and then landed on the yarn. And yeah, the results are quite interesting. So I'll show you in a minute. But what I thought I would do as well is I did the 2 skeins snow dyed, and then I thought actually it might be quite interesting to do another 2 skeins, but just do them as regular speckles. So kind of remove that layer of snow, if you like. So do exactly the same thing that I did with the snow, but without the snow, just to see what the results would look like. So yeah, should we take a look? So the first one I'm going to show you is the darker of the 2 colourways. So this colourway, I kind of, when I went to choose the colours for it, I picked them out kind of without looking, because I wanted to try and use colours that I wouldn't necessarily always put together. There are some colours that I know now, after lots of experimenting, that are always going to work well together and always going to look nice. And sometimes it's hard to kind of break out of that that mindset when you're trying to dye something new, because sometimes it's nice just to kind of try something completely different that you wouldn't necessarily go for, that you don't know if it's going to work, if the colours are going to work together or not. So I kind of closed my eyes and went into the box where I keep all my dye powders and picked out 5 colours, so I used those for this colourway. So the colours that I picked were kind of on the darker side for this one. And yeah, so this is the first one that I did with the darker colours. This is the snow dyed one. What do you think of that? Personally, I absolutely love it, and I'll be honest with you, when I was snow dyeing it, I really wasn't sure how the colours were going to come out together, but I absolutely love that. I just think those colours, you've got pinks and greens, kind of peachy colours, purples, yellows. Some really lovely colours going on. So that was the snow dyed skein. And then I'll show you the speckled skein, which is rather different. So this is the skein that I did without the snow, using exactly the same colours. Again, it's come out really, really nicely. This is why I wanted to wait till they were dried till I showed you, because they can look completely different when they're wet and hanging on the line as to when they're finally dry. But can you see all those speckles in there? All those colours. So again, really happy with how that one came out. And if we put the 2 together, you can see exactly how different they are. So can you believe these 2 skeins were dyed with exactly the same colours? Totally different. So what's interesting with this one is when the snow was melting, it kind of created little pools of colour at the bottom, and I was wondering at that point whether the dye was going to soak those colours up, and I think it has, because there was definitely some pools of red on the bottom of the tray when I was snow dyeing this one. And obviously when you're doing the speckles, you don't get the you're not using as much water, so you don't get the pools of colour, so it hasn't kind of soaked up the excess colour. But I still think it's really beautiful, that one and that one. Now I'd love to be able to recreate this one, and I might set myself a little challenge to try and work out how to do it because obviously all the snow's gone now, so I can't recreate it using snow. So I have to think if I can do something a bit different and try and kind of replicate these colours. But yeah, so that was the first one of the darker two darker colours. And then the second one, I did use colours that I knew would work well together. I kind of stuck to my tried and tested dyeing methods, colours even. So this is the first one that was snow dyed. So this one used much brighter colours. You can see a lovely bright yellow in there. There's bright pinks. Still got the greens and the purples coming through as well. But yeah, you can see all those colours working together, which is really, really pretty. So yeah, again, really happy with how that one came out. And let's compare it to the non-snow dyed version, which is this one. So with this one, the yellows definitely take more centre stage with just the speckles without the snow. You can see how those colours really, really pop. Look at that. Look at all those speckles going on. Absolutely love it. So that's the speckled one, and that's the snow dyed one. So you can see again, this one has soaked up where the dye's kind of pulled at the bottom. I think the purples and the dark pinks in particular, the yarns kind of soaked those colours up, and it's given it more of a kind of purple overtone compared to the speckled version. But yeah, again, loving those. What do you think? So if we look at the two snow dyed ones together, that's these ones, and then these are the two speckled ones. So yeah, really happy with how they came out. Really wasn't expecting the darker one to come out as nice as it has, to be honest. But yeah, loving it. So snow dyeing, yeah, definitely something to have a go at if you've got the dyes and you've got the snow. It's quite a fun way to do it. As a yarn dye, it's probably not something that I would do regularly, because obviously we don't get much snow here, but also it just took so long, so it's really not an efficient way of dyeing yarn. I think if I do it again, if we get more snow, I would probably leave the yarns in a warmer space, like by a radiator maybe, so the snow melts a bit quicker, and maybe use a thinner layer of snow, because I think I used good centimetre or so of snow, so maybe next time I'll use a thinner layer of snow so it melts a bit quicker. And I would probably use only one dark colour for each colourway, because I think the dark colours have definitely dominated the colourways, which is lovely, but I think in future I'll just use one dark colourway and see what that looks like. But it's all about experimenting, isn't it, really, and just seeing what works and what doesn't. But so another thing I want to try is you can do the same kind of thing but with crushed ice, so ice dyeing. So I am going to try that in the new year. I might even try and do the same colourways that I've done with these two, but using ice, and then we can kind of see how they compare against the snow dyeing and the speckles. But yeah, overall very, very happy with how they came out. So these yarns are available on the website. Obviously the snow dyed ones are one of a kind, so this one is on the website. Actually, I'll open it up so you can see kind of more of the colours, how they work together. It's really quite nice, kind of got a vintagey feel, this one, I think. But anyway, this one is called Winter Wonderland, and it's on the website as Winter Wonderland, and then it's the one of a kind snow dyed skein. And then, which one was it? This one is also Winter Wonderland. Let's open that up so you can see the difference there. You can see you get really nice dark runs of speckles, but there's so many different colours going on in there. Look. Really love it. So this one I think could be a repeatable colourway, so I'm going to put it on the website Again, it's Winter Wonderland, but it's not the one-of-a-kind skein. At the moment, there is only one of these available, but I will do it. So if you do want a skein and it's showing as out of stock, you can still put the order through and I will dye it to order. So if you like the look of this one, then you can order that on the website and I will dye it up for you. And then the second one, this one is on the website as Merry and Bright. Oops. There we go. You can see, take a closer look at those colours there. So the yellow, it's not really showing as well on the camera, but the yellow is a really fluorescent, bright yellow. It's like a neon yellow. So it really does make the stitches pop with colour. So this is the snow dyed version. So that's on the website under Merry and Bright, one of a kind snow dyed. And then this is the speckled version. With this one, you really do see how bright that yellow is. It's like a neon yellow, but look at that section there with all those colours going on. Absolutely gorgeous. And then you've got the greens and yeah, lots and lots of lovely colours going on in that one. So that's Merry and Bright. Again, just one at the moment, but I will be making this one a regular on the website. So you can put an order through and it will be dyed to order for you if it's not in stock. So I'll be dyeing up some more over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, this is Merry and Bright. And all of the skeins are on a 4-ply sock base. So they are 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And they are 425 metres per 100 gram skein. So one of these would make you a really nice pair of socks or a one skein shawl, or you could pair it up with another colour for a larger shawl. But if you want to take a look on the website, I do have lots of patterns on there for one skein shawls. So I'll just do a little photo montage now so you can take a look at some of the patterns that you could use these yarns for, or any other sock yarns. If sock knitting's your thing, there are some sock patterns on the website. Or if you've never tried sock knitting, I do have a beginner sock knitting pattern, which is called Let the Yarn Shine, and it's very beginner friendly sock pattern, and there's video tutorials linked all the way through. So from casting on to working the leg, working the heel, doing the shaping, and then closing the toe at the end. There's videos linked all the way through. So if you've never tried sock knitting and fancy giving it a go, then I will pop all the links here so you can take a look. And yeah, if it's something that you fancy trying, then kits are available on the website, or you can buy the pattern as well. And all the links and everything are in the pattern. And if you wanted to buy a kit, you can choose any of the Cora base, so that's the 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, or the sparkle sock, which is kind of the same base, but it's got a little strand of silver running through it, which gives it a really nice sparkle. So those two bases are really good for sock knitting or shawl knitting. I really hope that you enjoyed seeing the snow dyeing process and seeing the results as well. I know I certainly enjoyed doing the snow dyeing and trying something a little bit different. I am planning to do some more kind of experimental dyeing in the new year. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to try out ice dyeing. So if there's any techniques or anything else that you think I should try, then do let me know and I can do that in a future video. So I've got lots of exciting things coming up in January. At the beginning of January, I'm going to be releasing a brand new shawl pattern, which is called Harvest Moon. It's a 1 skein shawl pattern, and it's works really well with a semi-tonal yarn. So if you've got a skein of 4-ply yarn, 400 meters of 4-ply yarn, it work really well for the pattern that I've got coming out in January. And that pattern, Harvest Moon, was also the last Skein and Shawl Club box as well. So I'll show you a video of everything that was included in the previous Skein and Shawl Club box. And then mid-January, I'm going to be opening up for the next Skein and Shawl Club box, and the name of that shawl is called Record Collector, and that's going to be a 2 skein shawl. So I'll give you, see, I can't give you the show you a picture of the shawl or anything, because the Shawl and Skein Club is a kind of mystery box, if you like. You don't get to see the actual pattern until you've signed up for the box, and then you get it delivered with the yarn, with the pattern, and with some extras as well. So keep your eyes out for that if that's something that you're interested in. If you're based in the UK, I am going to be exhibiting at the Waltham Abbey Wool Show on Sunday the 15th of January. Really looking forward to that. Waltham Abbey Wool Show was the first yarn show that I actually did last year, so it was my first introduction into the world of yarn shows, and it was amazing. Yeah, really enjoyed it. So I'm back for a 2nd year. So if you are in the area, Waltham Abbey, do come along. You can squish some yarns, and yeah, because nothing quite like seeing yarns in real life, is there? I mean, I do try and show the colours as best as I can when I take photos and do these videos, but yeah, there's nothing like seeing the colours in real life. So if you're planning on going to Waltham Abbey, or if you're there, do stop by my stall and say hello. Not sure where I'm going to be, where my stall is going to be yet, but yeah, as soon as I know, I'll pop all the information on here, and yeah, it'd be lovely to see you if you're there. Got lots of exciting things planned for this YouTube channel for next year and hopefully beyond. So you know, I've only really just started doing this channel, so I am planning, I've got lots of ideas of things that I want to talk about, yarn dyeing, things that I want to show you, designs as they are released. But if you'd like to see kind of more behind the scenes, or more about the designs that I'm working on and what kind of goes into doing the yarn design side of things, I do have a Patreon channel which you can join, which is much more about the design process. So I do fortnightly videos on there where I show you what I'm working on, design ideas that I've had, and you can see basically the design from dyeing the yarn all the way to kind of blocking and off the blocking mats, so, and everything in between, and I talk a lot more about running a yarn business. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested, you can join me on Patreon. Got a really lovely community on there. So as well, there's 3 tiers that you can sign up for. No matter which tier you sign up for, you'll always get a monthly update. So I do a written update showing you what I'm working on and telling you kind of what's been going on throughout the month. You'll also get a pattern of your choice every quarter. So you can choose any pattern from my Ravelry library or from PayHip, and that will be my gift to you every quarter. And then if you decide that you want to do one of the other tiers, I also do the fortnightly video updates. And if you choose to go for the lace tier, then we also do monthly knit nights, which are great fun. I always really look forward to those. So we have the monthly knit nights. You'll also get 10% off all website orders. So yeah, anything that you want on the website, you'll always get 10% off. You'll also get, if you're interested in doing test knitting, you'll get early bird notifications of test knits that are about to come out. and a Facebook group as well. We've also got a Facebook group for the Patreons. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in joining, I will pop all of the details below so you can see what's included in each of the tiers. But yeah, if you fancy joining it, I would love to see you there. And yeah, it's a great way to kind of get chatty, really. So if you've got any questions, you can email me directly. And yeah, so as I say, I'll pop all the details. Do take a look. And if you fancy joining, you would be more than welcome. I would love to see you there. And something else fun that we did in the Patreon group is that I asked people to send me photos of potential yarn colourways. So if they'd seen a particularly nice colour combination that they think could work well as a yarn colourway, I asked people to send in photos and then use those photos to try and recreate those colours on a yarn. And yeah, it came up some really lovely results. So Fabiana sent in a photo of bougainvillea, which is the kind of a purple and green plant usually seen. Well, I know I see it a lot when we go to Greece. See a lot of it on holiday. So yeah, I had a go at creating that colourway on a yarn, which I think came out quite well. And I've actually used that yarn to create a new design for a pattern that's going to come out next year. So I've created a one skein shawl design using that yarn colourway because I thought that'd be a really nice one for summer. So keep your eyes out for that. And Julia also sent me quite a few photos actually of her garden. She's got an absolutely beautiful garden, lots of flowers and different colours going on. But this one in particular, this photo here. So this photo inspired the colourway called Spring Garden, which is a really speckly colourway. There's lots going on because I wanted to capture all the different colours of the flowers, so the reds, the yellows, the oranges, the purples, but also the green, so you've got the leaves and the grass there. So yeah, thanks to Julia, that inspired Spring Garden, which is a really lovely colourway because you've also got the sections of natural yarn as well. So when you knit or crochet with the yarn, you just get little runs of colour with lots and lots of different speckles going on, so it's a really fun colourway. So yeah, things like that we do on Patreon as well. And if you have any ideas, or if you've got a photo that you'd like to see as a potential yarn colourway, things like that we do on Patreon. So yeah, do take a look. So I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. I will be back in January with a brand new shawl pattern to show you. In the meantime, if you celebrate Christmas, have a wonderful Christmas and a very happy 2023. And I shall see you again then. Take care. Bye bye.